And we are recording.
All right. When last we left off, the wolf pack, following the ominous clues left to them by a seemingly friendly rebel leader, have continued through Oakland and up into the Blackrise Mountains, looking for a red stone amongst the black walls, in their search for Torral Redfire, the twins' father and supposed traitor to the Empire. With some determined scouting, they located the stone in question, and after some shenanigans and climbing up to it, managed to activate the stone and open a hidden passageway, although not before having some party members become poisoned due to forgetting the passphrase. Navigating the maze of tunnels, they had seemingly begun to make their way into a chamber before detecting some kind of ambush ahead. Choosing to double back and take a different route, the party entered a cave system and were attacked by several elementals, with the assistance of a hidden druid, marking them for destruction. Once the constructs were defeated, they emerged into a massive hollowed-out mountain, home to a refugee settlement and a host of non-human soldiers waiting to fire arrows at them. They introduced themselves to Rel Birchwood, Overseer of Defense, and managed to prove convincing enough to bring the rebel leader to greet them. This leader proved to be none other than the twins' own father, Torral Redfire. After a family reunion, a sharing of some vital intelligence from Corda, and the passionate enlistment of Rix into the ranks of the voiceless rebels, the party was tasked to look into an issue for the Overseer of Life, Cornelia Eartharn, while Torral thought on these new developments and attempted to make contact with his Overseer of Mystics. Cornelia had recently had to evacuate one of her mushroom farms after some threatening noises from deeper within the tunnels. She had sent a recent addition to the rebels to investigate, but had not heard from him since. The party investigated the cavern, finding a large humanoid lion sleeping soundly, and seemingly being fed drugged-up mushrooms by a little elf girl. This girl proved to be some kind of gelatinous monstrosity and, alongside with another of its kind, was capable of inflicting psychic wounds on the party before being destroyed by them, along with the recently awakened barbarian Tez. And that is where we pick up. You guys are on your way back up from the cave, having introduced yourselves to Tez. You're all a little bit beaten up, a little bit worse for wear, but for the most part successful. Some of you are still, your heads are pounding a little bit after getting struck by this monstrosity and having it kind of bore into your mind a little bit. But as you guys continue up this pathway, you notice Tez start to get a little more quiet and a little more sluggish, as if the effects of the drugged mushrooms is finally starting to take its toll, and at this point he's just kind of on autopilot. But, Wolfpack, what would you like to do?
I guess I'll go tell this lady that we found their mushroom problem and solved it.
All right. You continue up the pathway a few minutes until eventually you make your way to the top there where the guards had been stationed in case you went missing as well. They part easily enough as you walk by. Tez just kind of keeps walking and grumbles something about going to sleep and wanders off towards a nearby cave. But you do see Cornelia, who just kind of notices them go by, and she walks up to you guys. Oh, I take it you found something down there if you found him.
Yep, there's these weird jelly things, but they're gone now.
Weird jelly things? Huh.
They could look like people, or elves, specifically.
Well, that's terrifying. I'll probably have to go take a look down there with Evandre whenever they get here. But I trust you all are none worse for wear after fighting those things.
I'm good. I don't know about everybody else.
I'm fine.
I'm not too bad.
Tyler, I was going to say, Tyler, I think you're the only one that was still suffering the effects of the Ooblex.
Oh, yeah.
If I recall correctly.
For some reason, I marked everything but that in my notes.
Yeah, that's I think you still have. Let's see if I can get it pulled up. Yeah, you had your memories eaten, so you have a bit of a headache right now, and it's not too bad. Like, it only got the one strike on you, but until then, yeah, your head just. It's constantly having a headache. You still have to roll a d4 and subtract it from any ability check or attack roll you make.
Right. She's just going to be holding her head like, I think I'm okay. My head really hurts, though.
I mean, you go like nap it out.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. It feels like
Let me
it's
take
like,
a look
like
here,
migraine
dear.
levels, you know?
The very large Furbolg hand just kind of comes, holds your head up a little bit, sees where the creature had struck you. Well, you seem to have healed a little bit, but let me go ahead and she'll go ahead and cure wounds you. For the where is 19 points of healing damage, or in case I don't know what your health if you were already back at full. I don't think you should have been, but extra 19 points of healing just in case.
10 points
Hopefully
of healing
that takes a
damage.
little bit of the edge off there. Yeah, 19 points of healing damage. There you go.
Thank you.
Let me know tomorrow morning if you're still feeling a little under the weather. I might be able to look into this a little further.
Thanks. I'll let you know.
But just wanted to let you know we appreciate all the work you did, and to try and welcome you to our little community here. We've gone ahead and prepared some rooms for you. Now, I apologize if they're not super fancy or anything you're used to. Most of the rooms around here are caves that we've kind of just set some doors up on there. But there's enough for each of you, so you all have your individual rooms if you want me to go show you to them, and they're yours for as long as you want them.
Sweet.
This is great.
All right, I'll go ahead and lead you over. She goes ahead and starts heading off towards the western edge. You notice now, however long you were down there, the cave, it's like this mount or large open space. It had been lit from the sun coming down from the hollowed out top, but now that sun has seemingly passed. This cave is now, for the most part, dark. There's a lot of different sources of light scattered around various points. Mage lights, torches, a few bits of luminous mushroom and moss and lichen and things like that. It's kind of just a hodgepodge of, what can we have here that will provide some kind of, light for us to see by. But it's lit up enough of the space that you guys are able to navigate pretty easily. It's just you're not able to see anything above like tent line at this point. But she leads you over to the western edge and does point out the 5 different caves. They're really simple, just hollowed out cave spots, about 7 or 8 feet deep into there, about that same width, with just a simple piece, like some pieces of wood over the entrance to the cave with a simple door built into it. If you want, we already put some beds and some bedding in there. Most of these are prepared for any kind of, mercenary work or things like that. We have people coming in, but if you want to go ahead and make the rooms yourselves, it kind of seems like you guys are starting to help us out a little bit. Like I said, they're yours as long as you want them.
Works for me.
All
This
right.
is
Let's
wonderful.
go.
Thank you so much.
No problem. It's my whole job to make sure everybody's fed. Speaking of which, if any of you want food, and she goes and points down towards one of the tent lines, down over there is the community kitchen. If anyone down there comes looking for some food, I'll be happy to, get some. It's free for everybody. Everybody around here pulls their own weight, so we don't charge anything for anything like that. There might be a little bit of ale. We don't do a whole lot of drinking and carousing around here unless there's kind of a celebration, but might be able to dig something up if you ask around a little bit. But feel free to relax a little bit, and I'm sure your father and some of us other overseers will probably want to talk to you in the morning. All right?
All right.
Works for me.
All right. Let me know if you have any concerns, dearies. That she just kind of wanders off a little bit. You kind of notice, like, those of you that spent, you all spent time in Marshtown. You're definitely starting to notice the familial resemblance between her and her relative down there made a living selling drugged mushrooms. Just a few of the familiar ticks, but the night is yours. You have your rooms. You're able to get food and sustenance.
Cool.
What would you like to do?
Yeah.
I guess eat, and then I guess there's nothing. They'll tell us when they got something for us to do. So I'll fucking grab some mushroom stew and go fucking burn one down.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me.
All right, easy enough to do. The stew is in fact mushroom. There's a few pieces of meat in there, but it's not. It's a little overshadowed. Clearly, their choice of protein around here is fungus, but it's pretty good. There's some complex flavors going on in there. A little more than you were expecting for like a military-style soup kitchen, but it's pretty good. You're able to, nobody seems to bat an eye too much when you guys sit off in the corner and light one up as you're eating. So. Seems like,
Nice.
for the most part, everyone's either wanting to leave you alone or maybe they just don't care enough that someone's doing something like that. I mean, you guys are all technically now outlaws.
Fuck yeah, we are. Some of us are outlaws again.
Yeah.
Sure.
But unless there's anything anyone wants to talk about, we'll go. I mean, we can jump ahead to the next night. Or jump ahead through the night.
Yeah, because he said the magic person wasn't around, right?
Yeah, they said they were trying to get in contact with Avandre. They said that there was a bit of a delay with that, and Avandre would be there the next morning to talk with them about the cannon, as well as a potential job.
I think we should kill the torture while we're up here too, guys.
Oh, what?
I think we should kill the torture, like, while we're up here. Part of this whole rebellion thing. I mean, he's on our list of probably fucking off anyway. Plus, out of all of the blades, he seems to be, like, the least redeemingly valued one of them. Like, they all seem like maybe okay partially, or at least at one point have been okay. But this dude just seems like 100% shitbag.
True. Do we know where he is?
He sounds like he's just kind of around, right?
From the intel you were kind of gleaned, he's somewhere in the Redwood. You've seen a little bit of potentially what his handiwork was. There was a large swath of the forest that had been just demolished by fire, but you don't know exact location or anything like that. But you also have a magical book, I will remind you.
That's right, we can track him down with that book.
Ooh.
Maybe we need to set up a trap. Like, pretend he's gonna get like some big like rebellion leader, and then he shows up to burn him. We're like, boom, fuck you. Then he gets killed.
How would we... Wait, what? How will we lure him?
I don't know. I'm sure that's like what the whole rebellion's all about, is like setting traps for the fucking evil empire, right? Like, just tell them make it happen now that we're here. They got the fucking muscle they need to fucking finish this dude off.
Yeah. We could always go investigate the burn part of the forest.
But like, we rode through that. That's where we killed all those guards, right?
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Yeah, the dude ain't exactly subtle. It's not gonna be hard to fucking find him. Like, oh, is the torture with you? No, he's not. Okay, cool. Maybe we just start killing fucking patrols until they finally send him out to stop us.
That's a really good idea.
I'm just imagining this turning into like a GTA sim where you guys are just trying to get your own.
Oh my
Oh yeah,
god.
I'm gonna get those fucking 5 stars. They're gonna send the goddamn tanks after me. I don't know, just an idea. I mean, I think we probably fucking kick up enough of a ruckus up here we can get his attention, and then we fucking snip, take care of him.
I think you're onto something.
Because like, we could have tried to kill the Tinker, but there's the whole like Anatoly thing and this thing in my head telling me that he's cool, so and the fucking big dude with a flying boat, like, I have a feeling I'm gonna have beef with that dude eventually, so I'm pretty sure our acquaintance in common isn't gonna take too kindly to him being a fucking dick, so
we could. I mean, I guess we'll go after each of them, but the one of them, the one that is your acquaintance,
Mhm.
he just kind of flies around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just kind of meet him when we meet him.
Yeah, plus I'm assuming I'm going to get nudged in that direction at some point, you know.
Oh yeah, they'll like push you guys together like dolls or something. I don't know.
Yeah, eventually he'll be like, all right, go kill this dude. He displeases me.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, whatever, man. Okay. And that one, like, the wolf chick, like, she seemed like she was just there out of, like, by force. Like, she didn't seem super into the whole scene. Right? Isn't that what the impression everybody got off of my
Yeah.
possible
Yeah.
hallucination?
Yeah. Is your acquaintance like very obviously a very bad thing?
I mean, allegedly, if you believe the fucking, like, Empire's lies, he's, like, the worst, but, like, he seems to not think that way, so I guess I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is, like, not readily apparent, but I'm, like, sometimes barely clinging to sanity. Like, there's a lot going on
Oh yeah.
with that dude. Like, I'm still not 100% convinced all of this is even real. So, there's that.
It's gonna be alright.
Oh, I have very little doubt that that's true.
I
But-
think it will. We'll be fine.
Yeah. It'll be something to do, at least. Alright, I'm gonna go find out if my cave is ventilated well, so. And in the morning, we gotta find that magic dude. We got like a whole sack full of magic shit, guys. I don't know if anybody else is aware of this, but we got like kind of a lot of stuff. Just, like,
Yeah, we kind
I
of
just shove it in a fucking bag. Like, we got this weird glittery rope. What the fuck does that do? Got this strange silver, like, headband deal. No fucking clue what it does. Got this weird, like, magic wand, magic staff, rod thing that I took off that weird goblin I kicked in the dick. So. Watch this. Watch all this stuff be, like, stuff that would have been super useful to us, like, up till now.
More than likely.
Do any of us know how to do that? I don't.
No, we don't. That's why it's been just banging around in this fucking bag.
Yeah, I figured.
Weeks. Well, because we had that wand that Molly loves use, but that was just like limited. Or was it a scroll? I don't know.
It was one. You guys burned through that in like a night.
It was like, okay, we have three things we got to identify. We got like 6 things, so pick them. Yeah, because Grook, your fucking like moon knife thing was one of them, right?
No, it wasn't one of them.
Oh, we didn't identify it.
Uh-uh.
Oh, is it that other? Is it the other weird knife that Tyler's being super sketchy about?
What?
No, as far as my notes show, you guys identified the dagger that Garuk has. You did the initial identify for the Good Night book,
Oh, that's right, the book.
Yeah.
and I think you identified. I think you did the identification for Rix's armor.
That was probably right. That would make sense because he was wearing it.
Yeah, because I've got a couple other things on here that are unidentified.
shit that I probably didn't write down.
Like two guns, rapier,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
circlet.
I got the circlet. I mean, that's on my list. Does somebody have the guns? Greek, you took the guns, didn't you?
No, I took the rapier.
Okay. Well, maybe
Someone has a blunderbuss and a trilock pistol.
Taylor,
Was
you
that
got the
Riggs?
guns? It might have been Rex. Oh, well, took them shits back before he took off.
Yeah, I don't
We'll say
have.
it's sitting in one of your bags. It's fine. You guys just have it.
All right, I put those down. I didn't start taking notes until like 3 games ago, so.
Oh, I've been taking notes, but obviously they have not been helpful notes.
Yeah, and then you guys also have it's the staff and a rope.
Yep, I got
Not
all
the-
that.
My notes are the recordings.
Oh, that's true.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, why would I want to sketch notes I play when I can just go back and listen to 4 hours of us talking?
Well, either way, we know exactly what was said.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I have done the
I
occasional.
need to start marking down like timestamps or something so I can go back and check.
Well, just shoot me a message, ask me what time it is in the recording, and I'll tell you.
Ooh. Noted.
I also got a handful like precious gems too, so I don't know how I ended up with those, but if anybody like wants a cut of them, it's fine. All right, well, Finn fucking dips back into his cave, and about 10 seconds later, you guys see the fucking smoke puffing out.
Yeah, I do the
I
same.
was trying to figure out a way to make a joke about hotboxing a cave. Hot caving. All right, but with that, you guys eventually, one by one, retire to your own caves, finding a little bit of comfort in this faraway place, managing to fall asleep. For the most part. Tyler,
Yo.
you slowly stir to consciousness, irritated by whatever caused you to wake up. After the encounter with the horrifying slime monster and the searing pain it left in your head, all you kind of want to do is rest, forget about it for a bit. So it's almost a relief when you think you open your eyes and you see nothing but darkness in front of you, because you're able to think that you didn't actually open them. But you roll over a bit, trying to get more comfortable, and you're able to see a soft light in the distance. And you suddenly realize your eyes are open. You're just not seeing anything of the cave room around you. You focus on your surroundings, and you're able to barely make out a shimmering, shadowy barrier surrounding where you slept. Nothing else but the light in the distance seems visible at the moment. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna spin around to make sure there's absolutely nothing else around me.
It is just a bed, and it's 15-foot radius in each direction. You just see this shimmering barrier, except for the one point off in the distance where you see the light.
Alright. I'll go towards the light, and I'm like, I guess I'm dying today.
Or you're already dead.
Ooh.
All right.
Aneurysm.
You begin to
done.
approach the light, passing through the shimmering barrier as if it's not even there. As you begin to approach it, you hear a soft melody that reaches your ears. The tune's familiar, but you can't quite place it. It's like the memory of this melody just barely eludes you. But you find yourself humming along with it. And as you do, you watch the path before you begin to grow a little bit brighter with each step, illuminating itself in the light as you approach it, a soft trail of grass and flowers, none of which appeared familiar to you. A spectral, glowing rabbit suddenly appears, crossing in front of your path. It stops, looks up at you, twitches its ears a little bit. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna look at it for a moment. A couple more moments. Then I'm gonna take a step, like gently, as to not scare it away.
Doesn't move. It still just keeps watching you.
And I'm gonna talk to it. Just go. Are you going to take me somewhere?
You see the rabbit nod and begin to almost point towards the light.
Are you gonna come with? I'll pick it up and
It nods
carry
its
it.
head. Okay. It lets you hold it for a little bit, but then it starts making the movements with its paws to try and be put down. It seems like it wants to walk alongside you.
Alright, I'll let it go.
All right. You put the rabbit back down, and it looks up at you for a second, nods its head, and begins to walk right alongside you down the path. And as you continue going, more and more spectral creatures appear by your side. A doe, bear, a hawk, a wildcat, even a unicorn, all now walking alongside you, seemingly leading you towards this trail, down this trail towards this light. And with each passing step, grows louder, and then you find yourself singing along with it. Instinctively, not sure how you know how this goes, but still somehow familiar to you. Until you finally reach the light you've been following. Before you is a moonlit glade, with a gently flowing river, clusters of trees along the banks, glittering bugs lighting up the flora around it. The landscape is absolutely beautiful, seemingly untouched by any living being save the creatures that live there. But there's also something alien, something distinctly different and unique feeling to this glade. And also something a bit familiar. The colors here seem more vibrant, more vivid, and full of life than anything you've seen in your days wandering Meridia. It almost reminds you of the gardens that you and your mother used to cultivate, using her touch of Eladrin Fey energy to bring a bit of the Feywild into the Redwood Forest. And that's when the memory hits you. The tune that you've been humming and singing along with, the tune that seemed to lead you to this glade and this piece of the Feywild, was a lullaby that your mother used to sing. It used to be your favorite as a child because it resonated with that little bit of Fey life that lived on in your blood. As you recognize this, you continue singing the lullaby, and the glade seems to come to life, glowing vibrantly with a newfound energy. Waves of light and power are seemingly drawn into you with each and every note, and the spectral animals that helped guide you here watch with rapt attention as this place seems to begin to empower you. The melody crescendos before coming down to the ending notes, and with it, you see the lights in the glade slowly winking off, returning it to moonlight peace. Still, dark, but peaceful. And everything just feels right in this time, in this place. And as you feel yourself slowly drifting back to sleep, you leave the spectral animals that have always been with you to rest in the calm, relaxing grove. As you found your strength in this place, with all the help that they've given you thus far.
Oh, Corey, that's so
The
sweet.
next morning, this is why I texted you. I'm so sorry. I wrote all of that before you told me.
Well, that's okay. Thank you.
So, but obviously, if it wasn't obvious enough, the changes you and I discussed have now taken effect. But the next morning, you all wake up. A few of you not quite hungover, but definitely feeling the effects of hot caving for the night. What would you like to do? apparently everyone's sleeping in.
Seems that way.
I'm definitely sleeping in.
Oh, I just muted and forgot. I want to go get some fucking chow. They got food, so.
Yeah, food would be good.
Plus, how else
Easily enough.
will our party gather in the morning to get our next quest if we don't all go to the fucking kitchen to eat?
This is true.
True. That is where we will meet.
Yep. Yeah, so yeah, the next morning you all wake up, some of you feeling a little bit different than you did the night before. Tyler, excuse me, you do still have a bit of a headache. That effect does not seem to have gone away with a long rest.
All right.
But it's at least having your health fully restored, it's a little more manageable. It's still just like anytime you try to do anything a little strenuous, as far as mental capacity wise, it still just twinges a little bit. But easily enough, you guys are sitting in the soup kitchen with some morning porridge, just kind of gathering, looking around. You do see off in the distance, there seems to be a little activity around Toral's camp, his pavilion over there. Just some extra guards out front talking with each other. Every once in a while, you see messengers coming in and out of the pavilion tent, seemingly running out information and orders. But what would you like to do?
Well, I guess we need to go talk to old fucking Tordal, right?
Yeah. My head still really hurts, and I had a really weird dream last night. It was a really great dream, but it was a really weird dream.
Yeah. Is that why your head still hurts?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
She seemed different with my 21 passive perception.
I'd say that passive perception gives you, I mean, she seems a little different. She's carrying herself a little bit differently. And where, as in the past, like any local wildlife, insects, things would seemingly like flock to her, almost like a Snow White effect. That seems to have changed a little bit. You're getting a bit of a different vibe off of her at this point. But not like a dark or like any bad kind of vibe. It's just different. Different kind of natural energy coming off of her.
Yeah, you seem different today.
Huh. Yeah. I feel a little different today.
Well, then I guess we need to find the fucking healer lady, because she said to talk to her if you weren't feeling good today, right?
Yeah.
And then we probably need to go over and see what's going on with the commotion.
Ah, yes, the commotion.
All right. So you're trying to track down Cornelia first, then?
Yeah, might as well make sure Tyler's head's right before we...
All right. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
are the
Whoever
ceilings
wants.
high enough here for Elvis to fly?
Yeah, the light, it's barely bright enough at this point. There's a little bit of light coming in through the top of the mountain, but there's still a lot of torches up. He could probably fly up there and take a look, though.
Yeah.
13. Okay. Looking around, she is not immediately spotted anywhere near the tent, like pavilion area. You do see what looked like, or through Elvis's eyes, you do see what looked to be a couple of what you'd probably associate as druidic figures off in one of the distant, like eastern side caves, heading towards there. And you do see around one of the caves in particular, there's just a large swath of different colored mushrooms. You gather,
everybody else
probably gather that might be a good place to at least start.
Yep. I'll fill everybody else in. Head that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. You guys start heading that way, and you only make it about halfway because as you guys are heading that way, she comes out with the two other druidic figures, seemingly getting ready to make her start of the day. Oh, well, hello, dearies. I hope you had a good time in your caves there. Hopefully everything was to your comfort.
It was great.
Oh, I'm so glad. Is there anything I can help you with? I was just about to head down and start investigating the caves from yesterday. Make sure that everything there is right and proper for people to start going back to work.
Just me. My head still really hurts.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, let me take a bit of a look here. Oh, I think I might see what the problem is. 1 second here. You watch. She waves her hand a little bit, and you feel this pulse of energy come off you as a greater restoration spell is cast on you. And almost instantly, headache clears. You are no longer under that effect.
Oh, that's much better. Thank you.
Oh, that is a nasty little effect that happened. Was that side effect of that jelly monster hitting you?
I think so. What do you know what that was?
I'm not too sure yet. We're going to do a little bit of digging, hopefully find something left of it down there, and see what we can figure out. But we're going to try and be careful with it now that I know that it can do something like that.
All right. Well, keep me updated.
If you see any random kids in the tunnels, they're probably not random kids.
Okay, don't.
I appreciate that. We'll keep an eye out for them. Thank you, though. With that, she and her two druid entourage start heading towards where you figured the caves are. It's the same way that you guys had gone yesterday. But you are free to go back to Toral's if you wish.
Speaking of those druids, how is the overall reception to Finn in the largely non-human refugee camp / rebellion base?
It's, judging by the looks you've been getting, it's not the friendliest. No, there's no outright hostility towards you, even when you were getting served food and everything like that. Nobody was snarling at you at your face or anything, or getting ready to draw a blade on you. But you gather that a lot of that is because the connection that you have with the twins and Toral by their proxy. So it's kind of like all right, he's with them. I guess he's all right for now until suddenly you're not. It's not the friendliest. No one's going out of their way to make friends with you or anything like that. But they're not trying to, they're not spitting on you or anything. So.
Cool.
It's kind of so you stay in your lane and we'll stay in ours kind of vibe.
And I would just have Elvis out. I'm not even hiding him at this point. He'd just be hanging out on my shoulder,
Yeah, and he gets some interesting looks because he's not exactly a common species. So he gets some interesting looks. Kind of tones down some of the open hostility in some of the more nature-based people around here. But the elven soldiers, dwarves, things like that, they don't seem to care. They're just kind of all right.
Cool. Hey, Tyler, can you talk to Elvis?
I'm sorry,
Can't you communicate with animals?
Can I talk to Elvis?
Yeah, can you talk to him? You communicate
Can I
with
talk to
animals, right?
Elvis? I think I've talked to Elvis before.
Seems like, I don't know, couldn't remember.
Can I? I don't remember.
You would have had that ability.
True.
I don't think you would now.
True.
Because you used to have Speech of the Woods, which was beasts can understand your speech and you can decipher their noises and motions.
Oh, he's telepathic. Elvis is. To communicate back in general. So if she could talk,
as far as that goes, I don't think she's
back. Cool.
All right. You guys are heading to Toral's?
Yeah. You said that was where there was some activity there?
Yeah, you'd seen some messengers coming and going from there, a few extra guards outside, things like that.
Well, I would conspicuously let Taylor walk in front of me as we walk around. Like, I'm not trying to, like, stroll through the place like I fucking own it. I'm not trying to get fucking knifed waiting for a sandwich.
Fair enough, and easily enough to place yourself strategically within
I'll
the
be-
walking group.
I would be respectfully
Lone
deferential.
human amongst some elves. But yeah, easily enough, you guys head towards Toral's large pavilion tent. The guards outside don't. I mean, they kind of look you over and just let you through because obviously they recognize you from yesterday as Toral's kids and friends. So, but they let you in. You do see the large map table of the war room, quote unquote. Here, there's a few extra staff members in here where you guys had the room previously to yourselves with Toral. This time it's very much in work mode. There's a few people going over what look to be intelligence reports, just trying to narrow down some things on the map, get some positions identified properly. You do see Toral off in off in one corner of this tent. Looks to be writing up a quick order while a messenger waits to be sent off with it. So he finishes it up, he ties up the scroll, hands it to the messenger, nods, the messenger runs out. Toral then sees you guys have entered. Well, welcome to first morning with the Voiceless. Hopefully everything went well last night with the caves.
I'd say probably the best hole in the ground I've slept in a long time.
You get used to it.
I found it very comfortable. Even though my head
I'm sure
really hurt.
I mean, is it still hurting, or is it
No, we're good.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Just
good.
those
I'm a little worried there.
slime creatures down there they aren't good for your head.
Slime creatures. Huh. I'll let Cornelia sort that out. That's kind of her realm, looking into that a little bit. We did a little bit of corroboration with what you gave us yesterday. I had a agent not too far from Corda who was able to get into the city late last night and actually got a pretty good look at that cannon you were talking about. So that's concerning. I mean, I believed you guys when you told me about it, but always having another set of eyes confirm just how big the thing was it's going to be a problem for sure. I do know, I think Avandre got in a few hours ago. They're up in their tower right now, and I told them to expect you. Got a couple different things that are kind of going on, but I can fill you in after you've talked with Avandre. They want to hear about the canon directly from you, as well as anything else you might have questions for. I will give you a heads up. Avandre is a bit of an odd character. They came into our circle kind of by accident, and they rarely stay in it for too long, but Avandre is one of the smartest people I know, and a former arcanist in the Order of Magi, so if you have anything magic related, they can probably help you out with that. But like I said, odd, so be ready for that.
I think we can handle it.
I'm sure you can. But if you want to head over there, they're over on the eastern side. I'm sure you'll be able to spot Cornelia's hole. 2 doors to the right, there will be should look like just a normal cave door that you see around here, but the inside's a little bit different. So it leads to Avandre's tower.
This is like a weird code for his penis. We're cool.
I don't believe it is. I'd be a little less hesitant to. I'd be a little more hesitant to work with him if it was the case. But they're expecting you, so if you head over that way, just knock. They'll let you in.
All right.
All right.
Do
He
you
goes
guys
back.
have any plans on like how to kill the torture? Because if you do, like, we're into it. I just want to get that out there. If you guys got like plans and side plans and like down the road plans and shit cooking up, you might throw that out there.
Well, we didn't have anything specific. The torch is kind of a heavy target to go after, specifically because anytime we try to put anyone near him, he sets them on fire. It's kind of his whole thing. So, I mean, it's one of our overall objectives. We don't have anything specific, though, so if you guys have anything specific that you can cook up with or
No, just like
find
if it comes up,
yourselves,
we're in.
I will keep that in mind. Well, I've got a few other things. Once you're done talking with Avandre, we can talk about what needs to be done for the rebellion, but I think they have something they want to pitch to you first as something you might do in your off time.
Idle hands spend time with the genitals, and we know how much God hates that.
Something like that.
Let's go see.
All right, then. And he goes back to writing some orders up. All right, so you guys are heading over to where you were told Avandre's tower is?
Yep.
All right, you guys start heading over there. Again, towards the eastern area of this mountain. You do see where Cornelia's cave door would be, with the large swath of mushrooms around it. And at the door you were indicated was Avandre's door. You do see there's the door at the bottom there, just lined up almost like row houses. And then about 20 feet up, you see another door that's almost, it's not quite a balcony or anything like that at this side, but it's just another door planted in the cave wall itself, 20 feet above, with no way to access the door.
Like the door's just up in the air?
Like there's the normal door you guys can access, and then just 20 feet above there's another one. You're not entirely sure the purpose of that door.
Is there a ledge to it?
There is not. It's just a door. So yeah, you can still go to the bottom door and knock, just like you were told to, but it's a bit of an odd sight that there's this door up there that with no way to access it.
Hold on. Is it high? How high is it?
About 20, 30 feet up there, just no ledge on it.
If it's 30 feet, I'm going to use Mage Hand to knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on the door, the top door.
You
wait. About 15 seconds after that, the bottom door opens up. And you hear a soft, melodious voice, "Come in!"
Alright. Fucking go in.
All right. You guys enter into the lower door, and you almost immediately see what Toril was talking about. It's a bit of a TARDIS effect. As you guys enter, this place is a lot bigger on the inside than it looks. In fact, the room that you're currently in, from the outside, you'd guess it very similar to your guys' rooms. 7 feet tall, like 7 by 7, just general cave door. The interior of this room is a lot more than that. The ceiling's about 20 feet in the air. And each kind of just wall seems close in that same dimension. This is just a very large, expansive space. And you're not entirely sure how it doesn't collide with the next room over. But it doesn't. Throughout the tower, this room that you're seeing, there's some, areas where people are meant to sit. Some different chairs, tables, sitting areas, a dining table with 5 seats over there in one corner. But almost every space where someone would be able to sit or put something is covered in books. This entire space is just towers and towers of books. Most of the walls are lined with bookshelves that are overflowing with different books onto the tables and chairs themselves. Off on one side, you do see a staircase leading up with at various points on the steps, piles of books sitting on the steps. If you please, come upstairs.
All right. I start heading upstairs.
Yeah, pick our way through the books.
All right. You carefully navigate your way through the stacks and stacks of books. It's a little treacherous in a few spots, but you manage to get through, start heading up the steps, watching where you are going to make sure you don't run into more books. As you go up, you follow the staircase up to 20 feet, and eventually you're in yet another 20 by 20 by 20 room. Somehow still built into this cave wall with seemingly no actual usage of space on the outside. Yeah, there are still some books, but these seem to be a little more organized. The bookshelves are very neat in there. You see some various tables with what look to be scientific and alchemical instruments and glassware, things like that. A few potions brewing off in one corner. Some notebooks kind of put near them, but not in like a haphazard fashion like you'd expect given the state of the downstairs area. And in the center, there is a large circular table with books still like relatively neat on there, nicely stacked, not covering every inch of the table, but a few extra books on there. Looks like it was at one point a gathering space for people. You do see 5 chairs around it, and a 6th chair as well that might as well be made of books because it looks almost leather-bound in nature. But in it, you do see who you're assuming to be Avandre. They appear to be... Let me get the description up because I didn't have that ready at the moment. What appears to be a half-elven figure, androgynous in appearance, so you're not quite able to tell male or female. Sharp, angular elven features, softer colored, not quite gray, not quite white hair, but very almost alien in nature. You're not able to tell the age because of it. Spectacles on, wearing a thick purple robe that seems neatly sashed and buttoned in various points. Currently just writing down into one book as they look up. So, you're the strapping adventurers I was told about that have made their way all the way up here to visit dear old Torol. The twins. Oh, you look just like him. Before we proceed, I'm going to apologize. I have a little bit of a quirk. Can I get you all to write down your names? And he goes and flips around the book he was writing in and puts the quill forth. If you could all please write your names down. I have a thing all about recording history and trying to make sure nothing gets missed. And this, well, maybe not a momentous moment, I would like it at least written somewhere down. Plus, it helps me remember names better than being introduced.
This is gonna like trick us like a weird sex contract, right?
Oh, no, nothing of the sort. I'm better with names when I read them, if that makes sense. And plus, history is something that should be remembered, don't you think?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I write my name.
Right. All right.
Like I'll flip back and forth a couple pages to make sure it isn't some kind of weird sex contract.
It isn't. It appears to be a historical account, actually.
Yeah.
I'll
All right.
sign my name.
Taylor adds his name. Everyone seems to look to Garuk.
Oh, you too fucking cool. Put your name in the book. Fuck.
Sign it, damn it.
And Garuk signs her name. Avandre collects the book, puts the spectacles back up, looks over all the names. All right, this will help me immensely. I thank you so much. So, we have the Red Fire twins, Taylor and Tyler. Ooh, I bet that gets confusing every once in a while.
Never.
Nope, not at all.
I'm sure.
Yes, it does.
We have Finn Stormraven over here. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
Mm-hmm.
And Garuk Nilo. Pleasure to meet you as well. Dark One. As I'm sure you're aware, my name is Avandre. I am the Overseer of Mystics and a former member of the Order of Magi formerly the head scribe for the Order. I was told you had some information to relay to me regarding some magical items you may have acquired, as well as some things you have seen around the Empire.
Yep, we got a pile of magic shit. We don't know what it does, and we can definitely tell you about that big giant fuck you gun that the Empire built.
Big giant fuck you gun. What exactly is that?
I mean, it's like a cannon that shoots
Fuck you,
cannonballs the size of fucking houses.
Really? And it's magical in nature, you say, not alchemical?
Yeah, I mean, we've
Yeah.
got like sketches of all the shit that's all over it, right?
You guys do have the sketches. Do you hand them over?
I mean, like, well, like he can see them. I give them to him. He can fucking give back and copy them. You got a copier around here?
Oh,
The
I
old Xerox.
have an eidetic memory. I can do this very quickly. He flips it, or they flip a couple pages in the book. As you're holding up the kind of diagrams, they immediately start resketching it on their papers. As they do, they kind of slow down a little bit towards the end of it as they're finishing up the runes. Oh my! I see what you mean. This is quite a powerful and long-distance weapon. Huh. Well, at the very least, it's probably not going to get used on us.
Hopefully not.
I mean, this is a weapon that traverses quite a distance. The Empire has no need of that for doing anything here in the Redwood. I mean, they can just send soldiers and the torch, after all, and have the exact same effect.
Well, yeah, but they have to send soldiers. They have a big giant fucking cannon. They don't. They just send
Well.
soldiers to clean up. Like they
This
did
is
that
true.
island of Aarakocra.
This is true. It could just be used as a devastation weapon. I don't think they would go that far just to build something like that when they still have the manpower to do that, though. I'll have to do some thinking. I might have a few ideas about why they are using that, though. Let me see. They skip forward a couple pages in their book, write down something again. They tear the paper off, and you watch as the paper, as soon as it leaves the book, it forms itself almost into a bird made out of the paper and flits off downstairs. Sorry, just had to send a note. Just a few musings on that. That is concerning, but I appreciate you bringing it to my mind. What else do you have for me to think on?
Maybe you think you'd be interested in the whole like disparity in stories of the whole like empire religion thing?
I'm not much of a theologian, but if you have something that deserves to be written down somewhere, I certainly wouldn't mind writing it.
I don't know.
You can think on it. I'm typically around here. You don't have to. This is our first meeting, after all. If you don't feel comfortable sharing it, or don't think it's worth it, just know I always have a piece of parchment and pen ready. I was told you have some magical items in need of identification, though?
Yeah, dude, we got a sack of shit. We just keep picking it up. All fucking. You got a table around here that doesn't have books all over it?
Ah, well, hold on. And he claps his hands once, and you watch as most of the books off this center table lift up, stack themselves over neatly on one of the bookshelves in an empty space. And you now have plenty of room to sit your stuff on the table in front of you, as well as seats.
No, I'll pull out the rope.
Perfect. And while you're doing that, they clap twice, and you watch as a tea set comes over. Freshly brewed tea for anyone who wants it. As they begin going over, they hold up the rope that you handed.
I'll basically just take all that shit out and put it on the table.
Oh, this is quite the menagerie. All right, let's start here. They hold up the rope. This looks to be, and you watch as their eyes, typically this like sallow white color, flash with bluish purple energy for half a second. Oh, this appears to be a rope of climbing. This would have been, I'm sure, very helpful in getting up here.
Damn it.
So,
Damn.
I
Already
told
started.
you it'd be useful.
Really? Already starting. Okay.
this is rope of climbing, and I'm about to put it in the Discord chat.
Damn. That would have been handy.
Yep, a little bit.
Oh.
I didn't have to climb that far before I could teleport. That was alright.
So yeah, you have a rope of climbing. not a tuning item, but they start going over some of the other stuff. Let's see. They look at the staff that you laid on there, and you watch that same kind of flash. Let me go ahead and just mark that as identified real quick before I copy paste. Oh, well, this looks to be an interesting piece, as you now know what the Staff of Thunderstrike is.
Oh,
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that little goblin might have actually been a roadside terrorist.
Yeah, I'm glad I fucking kicked his ass. Well, technically he's nuts, but
Yeah, you. The method that you chose to take him down was probably for the best, since any real fight might not have gone well.
yeah, I'm glad he didn't drop those bombs on us.
And I'm just going to go ahead and start, as he starts identifying the rest of the items, I have a call to take real quick, so I'll just copy paste some stuff.
Cool.
All right.
So, who wants what?
I kind of want the staff.
Any objections?
Mm-mm.
That's fine by me.
Yep, all you then.
Neat.
I call this one.
Oh, wow.
All right, I'm back. So yeah, you watch as Evandre just like almost rapid fire starts just identifying, writing a piece of paper, and putting what it does on top of it before moving on to the next item. So yeah, you guys now have the Staff of Thunderstrike, Pain, the Blunderbuss, Vengeance, the Rapier, Suffering, the Trilock pistol, which I don't think anyone here has firearm proficiency, so
I
they're
don't
kind
think
of
so.
useless to you at the moment. Unless someone feels like picking that up at their 8th level, but that's not up to me. And the Circlet of the Night Guardian.
Taylor, you want the fucking guns?
And I'll hold on to them just in case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to use them, so I kind of also
I don't
have.
either, but
But I don't,
I might be able to figure it out. So yeah, I'll hold on to those.
Cool.
All right. One sec, I get another call.
Groot, do you want the rope?
Yeah, I'll take the rope.
Cool. I'll take the circlet because I can use it.
It's true. Frees up a Eldritch Invocation for you.
It does.
Okay. So yeah, I think that was everything I had on my list.
That was all I had.
Kendall, do you not have the description for the Blade of the Nightwalker?
I should.
I'll put it back in just in case. But I was fairly confident you guys got that identified before you left Corda, but just in case you didn't, now you get it identified. So,
Magic knife that makes you sneakier. That's pretty handy.
but yeah, Vondre goes through the whole process of identifying everything, marking it down with what it does. So you have that description on there. Oh, that was quite the little treasure trove you've been holding on to. I take it none in your party are arcanely gifted in that nature?
Not that direction.
Fair enough. It takes a certain level of study and things like that to properly identify things. It's a skill not many seem to pick up nowadays. But if I've helped you in that regard, perhaps I could potentially ask for some help of my own in maybe not return, but in the sense of if you're looking for any kind of special work, I might have something on offer for you.
Kind of our thing, so.
I should start by saying this isn't a time-sensitive endeavor. If you have more pressing things to pursue, this is a job that will be around if you feel like you want to come back to it later. Specifically, I'm not allowed to order anyone to do it. I have to ask for volunteers because I know it's supposed to be dangerous. So, what I want to do... How many of you are familiar with the name Krillaria?
Not.
That's typically what that silence means. All right. Well, Krillaria, you will probably heard it when they welcomed you here, because we do call this space that we live in Krillaria, the home of the voiceless. But Krillaria is not just this space. Krillaria is actually a much older term, and it refers to a vast underground civilization that once spread all throughout the Black Rise Mountains, into the Northern Territories, and even as far south as Meridia, if some of the legends can be believed. It was this sprawling underground, just everywhere. Tunnels throughout the world, covering most of this landmass, most of the major population centers. We don't even know what kind of creatures lived down there initially. We think it may be some variant of drow, but I'm not sure. Because it was that old and that long ago so far ago that there's no real record of it anywhere here in the Empire. Those that kind of know about it now mostly know of it as the Underdark. It's been long abandoned. It's overrun with foul creatures and monstrosities, things that would only survive in the darkest of environments where people do not tread. There's spots, we believe, down there that aren't befouled by these monsters, though. We think they are instead tainted by dark magics that the world has forgotten. Magics that may or may not have led to the downfall of the people that ruled Corlaria. I want to study these magics, if I'm being entirely honest. Lost things and things not written down in history are kind of my thing, and I would like to study them very much and have them written down somewhere for people to learn about. But it's the Underdark and the lost vaults of Corlaria down there, and there's quite a lot of monsters, and it's very dangerous. So, what I'm wanting to do is a series of expeditions, each one establishing a foothold in a new, safe area of the Underdark before launching another expedition, clearing away and making another safe spot in the Underdark, before continuing until we eventually find some of these sites to study and observe and things like that. As I understand it, from the few scouting missions that I've sent that have successfully returned, it's very dangerous. There are quite a lot of monsters, dangerous pathways to be taken, various hazards, living underground, things like that. So it's not something I'm allowed, like I said, I'm not allowed to have men assigned to it. Toral's not willing to with the war going on, because this isn't exactly a priority. This is more of a, I don't want to call it a vanity project, but it's not something that will probably directly impact the war effort. I think some of these magics might help in the long run, and who knows what kind of magical artifacts are found down there and things like that. But it's not something that might have a direct impact. So I'm trying to, well, I have some money to get mercenaries as well to, man some of these outposts, but I'm only allowed to accept volunteers. They're not something that, this isn't a job that most people are going to want to do. But those who want to do it are more than welcome to go do it, if that makes sense. Ultimate goal with having these routes cleared down, there's something down there I want to look at, along with these areas. There's something called the Vault of Corlaria. And it's found with this stone arch called the Path of Night. I want to find this, because supposedly this vault will hold some secrets of the arcane nature that may or may not help us undo the Empire, as far as the one text I have that mentions it says. As far as, it doesn't specifically mention the downfall of the Empire, obviously, but it mentions the secrets within being powerful enough to change the world around you, and I think the downfall of the Empire would certainly count under that. So like I said, this isn't a pressing request. I know Toral has a couple other things going on that he requires help with that you may want to pursue, but should you find yourselves with a little bit of downtime or feeling a little more adventurous and wanting to get away from the toils of war over there and feel exploratory, maybe trying to find some long-lost artifacts or locations, feel free to come see me, and we can set up one of these expeditions. Does that sound good?
Noted. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. And of course I'd pay you. This isn't obviously you'd be paid. And any magical artifacts, provided I'm allowed to identify them for you and look over them a little bit in case they're mystical or unknown in nature, you're more than welcome to keep them. I just insist on documenting things in case it's some long-lost relic of some long-forgotten god. Having it written down somewhere is always a good idea. As I said, not a pressing concern. This is something that will be waiting for you for a long time. Feel free to pursue other matters, and whenever you need a break, I'm more than happy to formulate the expedition. there anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, you say you write down the names like magical stuff that you come across.
I do, yeah.
Like you say, how much stuff have you run across? Like, do you have any artifacts that may be connected to you ever heard of Eldath?
I've heard the term as far as a theoretical position. I'm not, like I said, I'm not much of a theologian, but I've come across the name a couple of times. Can't say I found any artifacts related to him. Have you come across any?
Nope.
I'd be interested if you did. Please let me know. I'm more than happy to take a look at it.
Sure.
But as far as the scope of what I encounter, along with various travels I've had throughout my life and continue to have every once in a while, I actually am employed somewhat in a magical shop in Hilltown. Just to, get a little bit of the daily normalcy of life. And as much as I love this little refugee camp and what we're fighting for here, a man does need civilization every once in a while.
I get that.
Yeah, feel free to bring any artifacts of magical nature or anything you come across if you need some identification or a better understanding of its inner workings. I'm more than happy to help you, so long as I'm allowed to write about it. As I said, documentation is everything in my line of work.
I don't mind.
Nope. Cool, man.
Perfect. Well, that was all I had for you, and it seems like I've identified everything you have available to me, so I'm sure your father probably wants to talk to you now. That message I sent to him earlier has probably been absorbed a little bit. He probably has some thoughts regarding analysis of that canon, so I'd probably go talk to him next, just to see what he's thinking, see what he might have available to you, should you not wish to pursue one of the expeditions just yet. But it was so lovely to meet you.
Yep, same thing. Nice to meet you.
It was lovely to meet you as well.
Thank you. If you wish, a little bit of a quicker trip, and he flicks his finger, and the door, the 20-foot up door over there, opens up, and you watch where from the outside you didn't see any kind of balcony or anything like that. As the door opens, a almost holographic staircase appears, leading straight down to the ground outside of his quote-unquote tower. The quicker exit will get you a pause there a little bit faster. I know the downstairs is a little bit of a hazard sometimes to navigate, so feel free to take this exit.
Works for me.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you again. All right. And with that, you guys head off to go meet up with Torral. We'll go ahead and we'll take a quick little 5-10 minute break here. For any bio needs, I'm going to go refill my water.
It works for me.
Sounds good.
All right. See you guys in a bit. All right.
Yo.
So what'd you think of that? I honestly, like, I did write it before you told me, and I was immediately rethinking it after what you said.
No, I thought it was really sweet. I liked it.
Okay.
It was a good transition. Good job.
It's kind of what I was going for, you know. Animals got you
Yeah.
there to that point.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for you to try out some of your new abilities.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I've never played a Dreams Druid before.
Yeah, looking over it, a lot of it reminding me of some of the abilities my new guy has, and it's like, ooh, this is nice.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm really excited for the Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, invisible barrier just around you guys. You can hide in.
Yeah. And I have a health pool now. I'm like a real healer.
Yeah, the font of energy that just keeps coming.
Yeah, my Fey
It's
energy
kind of nice
pool.
having just free bonus. Yeah, it's kind of nice having free bonus action healing. Honestly,
That's awesome.
although I think I just realized this is one of the only ones. Other than no, I guess most of that's weird. Only like half of the druid circles get special spell lists. Huh. Never realized that. I figured every one of them had it.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
All right, I think everybody's here. We'll go ahead and jump back into it. All right, so you guys head off from Avandre's tower, stepping down the spectral staircase that as soon as you guys have stepped down it, the door closes and the staircase completely disappears as if it was never there. And you guys notice you can't step on where it was anymore. So just no longer exists. Bit of a weird thing. But you're able to pretty easily from there make your way back to Toral's pavilion. The guards once again let you in. There's still a little bit of commotion. Some scouts and intelligence officers just kind of going over that map table that look up at you, then go back to what they were working on. Toral sees you guys come back in. So, how was your meeting with the Overseer of Mystics?
It went well.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
We
they
have a
pitched you
job.
the expedition.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been trying to get people to sign up for that for a while. It's not high priority, if I'm being entirely honest. The Underdark is massive, and there's no like guarantee of anything coming back out of there, like value wise or people wise. So feel free to turn that one down at any point. And since they're wanting to do multiple expeditions, it's not something that you have to do all at once. You can come back to it if you want later. But they did let me know their thoughts, initial thoughts on that cannon. They're going to oversee the construction of that rune that you guys had. But their initial thought was most of the runes on there, while they are meant to increase the damage of that cannon, it's more meant for long-range fire. And something like that, their thought is that you only design a weapon like that to attack enemies that you can't conventionally attack. It'd be the more logical reason to do it. In their mind, it's not built specifically to attack us here in the Redwood. It might get used on us, but it's not the reason that they would be doing it. Not when they can just send in, the Torch and army of peacekeepers and Imperial Guard to torch down the forest and cut everything down. So we're vulnerable to conventional invasion and things like that. But the Northern Territories, though, not so much. North's a little bit harder to get to via land and water, so the thought is that cannon is being developed so that they can attack anywhere in the north that they want, while keeping themselves relatively safe, softening everything up there so that eventually an invasion doesn't have to fight tooth and nail through everything. And I'm not disagreeing with that, because it makes a lot of sense that they develop a weapon for someone you can't invade directly, without difficulty anyway. So the thought is that the Northern Territories is kind of the ultimate goal with that weapon. Which means we have kind of an opportunity. We're, at this point, small-time guerrilla resistance force, not really unified. We don't have any real backing. Whereas the North has been fighting, actively fighting, but the North's been resisting passively for quite a while. Ever since the War of Continental Unity ended, they've been wanting their own independence again. I think the only reason they haven't is because the Empire is still a lot of people, a lot of magic power, and it would be basically mutually assured destruction at that point. The canon changes things, though. I think the canon is it's going to be the saving grace for the Empire if they choose to invade the North, which it's not out of the realm of possibility, considering relations between the North and the Empire aren't exactly great. I don't know how much of the news you guys have been listening to on your way up here, but apparently the North has been sitting on a couple gold mines, and that they haven't been reporting to the Empire. And some of that gold may or may not have been used to rearm themselves for a potential conflict, and some of that gold may or may not have found its way down to us as well, to, sow shit in their backyard a little bit. But the Empire's not happy that a whole bunch of revenue from the North has slipped through their fingers. And they're also not happy that the Northern Territories basically kicked most of their Imperial Legion out. It's one of those things that just doesn't sit well with them for the most part. So I think right now would be a really good time to start trying to set up diplomatic relations with the Northern Territories, reaching out to the Lord of the North and trying to see if he's willing to jump into the fray if the fray were to suddenly get serious. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, yeah, if you're fighting one fucking gang, you find other little gangs to team up with to take them out, so.
Now, it's funny that you mention it like that, because main problem we're going to have trying to get the North to help us is the fact that the North is kind of up on its own, and we're small potatoes at this point. We're not a serious threat to the Empire. We're not sitting in a position where we can, untopple the Empress and her council and rewrite the entire setup of the governance of this continent. So we're not going to be taken seriously if we head up there right now. So what I want to do, and what I'm hoping you might be able to help me with, I want to see if here in the territories, here in the Redwood Forest, there's 3 major political players in the arena. There's the city of Oakland, which you have already passed through at one point, at least for a night. There's the smaller city of Yord up in the mountains. That kind of served as at one point a military installation, but now it's kind of not, ever since the Crusade. And the city of Elvenon, which obviously some of us in this room are very familiar with. I think if we were able to somehow get all three of these cities to stand with us in this cause, that the North would take us seriously enough to jump into the fray. And we might actually stand a chance at that point. Thoughts?
I think you're right. But I think it's going to be easier said than done.
That's what I'm afraid of. But I'm hoping we might be able to get some assistance from you. I'm not entirely sure how we'll go about it. A few of the messengers I've sent off, I've notified some of our agents in each of these cities that we'll be what we're kind of working towards. We're working not. I don't want them to declare their independence yet, but some support and general. If something were to come to blows, maybe then declaring with us, but an assurance more than anything from whoever is leading the city. So in the case of Oakland, it'll be the council there and the speaker. From Elvenon, it'll probably be the Viserion family. If they chime in with wanting to support our cause, then everyone in Elvenon will, but that's going to be a hard one. And then the High Thunderer of Yord, / city leader, since he refuses to take his imperial title seriously. I think if we were able to get all of them to back us, or at least a note saying, we stand with you in solidarity, the North will take us seriously. Is this something you guys would wish to pursue on our behalf? Yes. Let me get them pulled up real quick, because I don't see. I had two of those written down, the other one I had in my head. So, all right, from Elvenon, it'll be the Viserion family, which that name does trigger some bells in twins' heads. The Viserion family has been ruling Elvenon since basically the dawn of Elvenon. They were in charge of the city when Elvenon was conquered, and they've stayed in charge because they bowed down to the Empire. So that's why he's saying it's going to be a little hard to probably get them on board, because they're old Imperial elf blood at that point. For Oakland, it was the council, as well as the first minister of the council, which he didn't give the name for that. Speaker, excuse me. That was the other name that he used.
All right, I got them all now.
And then yeah, for Yord, it was a High Thunderer / Imperial city leader, something like that. That was the only one I didn't have written down quite yet.
Okay.
But is this something you would be willing to pursue on our behalf? You guys are, for lack of a better term, relatively unknown as far as your allegiances to us. So you can still move about freely, and I'm sure you have some way that you were able to get past the Imperial blockade into the Redwood Forest, so I'm sure that'll be able to help you move around in the Redwood Forest as this war continues. So having that bit of freedom and having that anonymity, you're a very strong asset to us if you're able to pursue this.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy to help.
yeah, so I assume we just take your offer to the bosses of these towns.
Something like that. The offer, it's not going to be well received by a few of them. The council might be willing to at least hear it, the council in Oakland. High Thunderer probably won't, because he likes to do his own thing. I don't blame him. And I know the Viserion family, if you even mention the Voiceless, you will be arrested and slapped in irons and taken immediately to the Imperial Legate there. So what I would recommend, we have agents in all of these cities. I would suggest meeting up with them, just getting a lay of the land, and kind of seeing if they have any leads as to what you might be able to do to acquire that city's allegiance and support. Like I said, this is going to be a lot easier said than done. And this isn't something you'll be able to accomplish overnight in any of those cities. I expect each of you take a bit of time in each of them to ensure that the job is carried out. And obviously, if any conflict comes to blows with the Imperials while you're there, I would suggest strongly leaving, because we cannot attract any more attention than we already have with our guerrilla activities. If it was suddenly found out that we were openly operating in Oakland, I expect the city would very quickly be burnt to the ground and rebuilt in Imperial fashion. So be careful if you pursue any of these. I do know he's a little out of it still, but that Leonin that you, Tez, he's expressed an interest to come with you, if that makes sense, and is amenable to you.
I mean, he seems alright. And he's
Yeah.
certainly fucking burly, so.
He is that. We've never met anyone from Rook Island before, but they're all built like him. I'm surprised the Empire hasn't been using them for slave labor. He's very big. He's very big. As soon as he said he wanted to help fight against tyranny and justice and things like that, we were content to just let him help out. So. But do you have any questions for me? I might be able to answer. I know I'm asking a lot of you guys. This isn't exactly an easy undertaking.
We knew the job.
All right. Well, taking the silence as a sign of acceptance.
Yep.
Yep.
Anything urgently needs done?
Not especially. This is kind of a take it as you want to go with it kind of route. And pick if you want to. I know you've already been to Oakland at least once, so probably not the worst point to start in, and might honestly be the easiest one to try and sway as far as getting them on our side. But Ward's pretty close as well. Maybe build your way up to Elvenon. Probably
that one's definitely going at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, the Viserion family, it's going to be a little hard to get them to sway on anything. If you listen to anything that Rel Birchwood says about the Viserion family, you'll get a pretty good impression of exactly how stubborn they can be. To be fair, the Birchwoods are just as bad, so. But yeah, as far as what you mentioned earlier with the torch, we're keeping an eye out for him. I'll have word sent if there are any eyes on him. We assume he's operating in one of the Imperial forward camps, but then just occasionally venturing out to torch everything down. We're not entirely sure how he's getting around so quickly, but as soon as we have an idea of that and where he's mainly located, we can let you know. Keep an eye out for him. Certainly help to stop him from burning more swaths of the forest down. He's kind of doing it indiscriminately, it seems.
Yeah, that'd be a big help.
Yeah, that's kind of all I had for you. You two be careful, please. This isn't exactly, a light escort mission through the woods I'm offering.
It's all gonna be alright.
Escort missions are always the worst anyway.
They were not my favorite as a ranger, let me tell you. They were frequently annoying. But take some time, relax, do a little bit of unwinding, get ready for the journey ahead, and we'll talk soon. Best of luck. I think if anyone's capable of doing what I'm setting forth, you guys would certainly be it. With that, you get kind of a vague notion of dismissal at that point, and not really sure what to do with it. You kind of wander outside of the tent.
Yep.
What would you like to do?
What do you guys think?
I want to attune to my staff.
Yeah. I mean, we just like hang around for a bit, or you guys want to like go someplace? I mean, that shit. They said that new dude wants to come hang out with us, so if he's still like sleeping off his giant mushroom trip, we might have to hang around for a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, I might do a giant mushroom trip before we go, if that's the case. So, if anyone wants to join me, I'm gonna go do that.
I take the silence as a no, and I turn and I go do that.
With that, she wanders off towards her cave to go do a giant mushroom trip.
What's events lately? I'm not sure. Psychedelics are at the top of my list of things I want to do.
All right. What else? What is everyone else doing? Taylor, Karuk, what are you guys doing?
I have no idea.
I guess I'll go. I don't know. Maybe should we go look for that for bulk lady and see if we can go down in the little mushroom, like to those little mushroom caves they were in. Go back farther. Those creature things had to get in there somehow, right?
There, watched one of them come through what looked like a small like spring or waterfall, but there was another tunnel that led deeper down into the like underground.
It's possible there's more down there then.
Yep. I say we go down there and go bang around underground for a while, letting that dude sleep it off.
All right, that's what you guys want to go do. Talk to her.
I mean,
Sure.
unless anybody got anything else to do? Anybody got any hobbies they'd like to do, like some whittling? Think of wood carving.
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Well, if no one's got anything else, then you guys start making your way down towards the original mushroom cave.
Since we decided pretty quick, I go like poke my head in Tyler's cave and be like, "Hey, if you didn't already eat those mushrooms, we're thinking about going down, like rooting around underground looking for monsters."
Oh, we're gonna go hunt monsters? I mean, I already ate one. Come along.
There you go. How bad? You just ate one.
Which one did you eat, Tyler?
Let's see.
You had a few different ones.
This will decide whether or not she'll be useful.
Yeah, that's kind of going to determine what the save is and what happens.
Let's see.
That's what happens when you dart off to go eat mushrooms.
I'm gonna eat a blue one.
Let's see, blue one.
I put for trippin' in parentheses.
Yeah, okay. All right, go ahead and roll a con save.
Alright.
Well, You're lucky because the DC was really low. The side effect would have been you fell asleep. But you start, as you start walking, you start feeling the effects of the mushroom. You get a little sleepy for half a second, and you're like, "Oh wait, no, I'm going with them," and everything just kind of feels good. And yeah, you're not like full on tripping. You're not having like a psychedelic trip at the moment. But you're definitely feeling pretty good. You have a nice little buzz going on. But you're still functional for the most part, and you also have advantage on charisma checks at the moment.
Hey. I feel great on these things. We need to pick up more.
That's an option. That is an option. But all right, with that, you guys start walking down. You do eventually get to the point where you start seeing, the luminescent glows of the mushrooms. But more importantly, you're hearing noises, the sounds of people that are working. And as you kind of come into that cave again, you do see this time around, instead of, a giant sleeping Leonin barbarian and a little elf girl feeding him mushrooms, this time you do see various druidic figures and even just a few people in like regular commoner's clothing, probably just work duty, down there just tending mushrooms, making sure certain ones are being well kept for, cleaning some of them off, watering a few different ones, or in some cases spreading around some kind of weird mulchy fertilizer that doesn't exactly smell great, and you're not entirely sure what it's made of, but probably don't want to know if you know anything about mushrooms in real life. But you do see often to one area, one specific like glowing luminous patch of mushrooms towards the back tunnel entrance is Cornelia, just seemingly tending to a few different ones, occasionally what looks to be weaving small spells around, as if she's nurturing this particular circle of spores. You approach her, or what are you doing? Since you're now in a cave full of a few different kinds of mushrooms, Tyler.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I guess
More blue ones.
approach her and just walk up to her and tell her that we remembered that there was this tunnel down here that went deeper into the mountain. We figured those monsters had to come from somewhere. We didn't really have shit to do for a while, so we were thinking about just kicking around in there for a while, make sure there are no more like creatures lurking. Is that something you would need?
I mean, if you feel like going down there and taking a look, go right ahead. There's a couple different like chambers similar to this one where we have some mushroom groves. We went and cleared, like, I made some people go check it out. I figured since you already got those monsters and you were making, I'm assuming, quite a bit of noise when you did, that they were pretty clear. We haven't seen any danger coming out of them here the last couple days, but I think there's a way to get, I think there's a path down there into the Underdark. We normally try to keep that mostly sealed up with a door, but if you wanted to go take a peek around that area, just kind of get a feel for it. I know Vondre was probably trying to get you to go down there, but if you wanted to go explore and get a sense of what the Underdark's like, there's always that. Feel free to do a patrol if you want. I won't stop you.
What do you guys want to do? You want to go to the Underdark?
Not
Sounds
really.
good to me.
Not really right now.
Yeah, well, then whereas we can just, I guess, patrol around. The not Underdark part.
Yeah. That's certainly an option. Be my guest. We certainly won't take no. If you're just looking for stuff to do, I'm sure we can always have a couple extra tenders to help the fungi down here grow a little bit stronger.
I'm coming with a, like, patrol for monsters type of help.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You can go take a look. And Tyler, you said you were looking for more of the blue ones?
Yeah, I was just gonna look around and see if they're growing.
Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
And do I notice Tyler casing the place like a fucking crack fiend?
You absolutely notice with that roll. She is not being stealthy about it right now, and I don't think, like, she would not have an easy time being stealthy at the moment. She very much is giving off that, like, just be cool, walk in a straight line kind of energy whenever walking by a cop while you're drunk. Knowing that, pulling that one from experience, just, yep, be cool, don't do it. She's kind of giving off that energy, and she's trying to make it look nonchalant as she's like looking over all of these patches of mushrooms. With that, you find a couple different colored mushrooms, Tyler, but you don't see any blue ones in this immediate area.
Hey, Smacky Brown, get together. Stop fucking casing the place.
I wasn't gonna take any. I was just gonna buy some.
I think you're probably good for now. I got a couple of the blue ones. I got a couple left. You can have mine.
Oh, sweet. I mean, you should really try one. They're very impressive.
No. Sometimes when I fall asleep, I see like other places and like black so deep that it doesn't have a bottom, and I'm not keen on that whole experience on mushrooms.
You don't always fall asleep.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Like, that's what I think about when I'm sleeping. I don't want to think about when like the third eye is wide open.
Yeah, you. Well, if you ever change your mind,
That's cool.
let me know.
All right. So with that, you start heading down the lower tunnels, just kind of doing like a rough patrol. Go ahead, and anyone who wants to keep an eye out for things, make a perception check.
Oh, I am for sure. Also, I'm fucking activate my belt and armor shadows up.
All right.
He said perception, right?
Yep. Taylor, you are more than preoccupied keeping an eye on your sister, who is still very much just it's becoming a little obvious at this point.
Yeah.
That she's just having a good time. She's enjoying herself for the most part. Finn and Garuk, as you guys are just continuing down, you explore these different chambers. They're very similar to that first chamber in that there's typically a little spring in the center, several different small little streams feeding it from various points in the wall. You're not entirely sure what's feeding all of this water into the place or where the water's going, since obviously these chambers aren't overflowing or anything like that, but they seem pretty well irrigated, so you're assuming that Cornelia and her druidic assistants probably had something to do with it. But continuing down, you're seeing just typical farmers and druids keeping an eye on the spores and making sure that the fungal growth is under control and going well, tending to them, making sure everything's watered properly, feeding it. You don't see any more signs of the oblexes that you had previously seen. However, when you make your way down to the fifth chamber, you do eventually see one where you would expect like the next tunnel passageway to go. You do eventually find what Cornelia had originally mentioned. It's this very large stone door that seems sealed and blocked off with multiple barricades, and in multiple scripts is carved with the word danger. And you're gathering that that's probably the entrance to the Underdark that she was mentioning.
I going back to that.
But yeah, other than that, you don't see anything out of the ordinary for the most part. It seems like a everyone just is kind of happy to be back to work and tending to the food supply for Krillaria. Main food supply, anyway.
How far are we from Oakland and Yord?
So, from Oakland, I think it was a couple of days. At this point, you guys, I think I have the ribbon set to the Imperial map, right?
Yeah.
You guys can see that? Okay. So, if you can see where I went the wrong way with my zoom. In between where Yord and Oakland are, you guys are roughly like right there.
Okay.
There's a mountain kind of up in here that's, you went off the main path a little bit to the west, and that was where you found the main entrance, or the entrance you used anyway, into Krillaria. So back to Oakland or up to Yord, probably a couple days either way. And you were about 2 days out of Oakland when you ventured off the path. So it'll probably be about that much to get back. And yeah, as far as to Yord, what you're aware... Where's my travel thing? Distance between cities. It's away from Oakland, so it'll probably be 3 to 4 getting up to, or like 2 to 4, somewhere in that range. You're not entirely sure the exact terrain, and you've kind of, like, from what you know about Yord's not always accessible because it's in the mountains and the weather has a lot to do with it. So rock slides, avalanches, things like that are very much a factor when going up there. So it can be a little hard to get up to sometimes. And then from Oakland to Elvenon, if you wanted to head that way, it's also 10 days walking, 3 days riding.
Element's way down the list. Well, maybe we guys pop back down to Oakland. It's only a couple days, right?
We could if we really want to.
What just happened there?
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to do while down in the caves? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, so I head back up. It's probably like lunchtime, right?
It's a little bit past lunchtime at this point.
Yes.
Since
Farouk?
we're down here by ourselves. Y'all guys remember the night where I got taken by the Brotherhood?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They gave me 2 contracts. And if I don't fulfill them, I'm going to lose my memory.
Okay.
Like all of it?
Pretty much all of it, yeah.
So you'll just be like nothing upstairs at all.
For majority of it, yeah. Pretty much.
Like of everything ever? Like you would remember your name?
I would remember that type of stuff, but all the adventures type stuff and, my skills and all that, yeah, no. I wouldn't remember any of it.
Huh. Well, that's no bueno. So you got off?
I got off 2 different people. One is Peacekeeper Agent Blackwood, and the other one is Agent Oak.
Well, Blackwood, isn't he like the boss up here?
Yes.
Oof, that's gonna be a tough hit.
Yeah. And they also want us to do this very discreetly.
Who's us?
Or me to do it discreetly. Discreetly.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, discreet's not really Kind of
Our
our
strong
general
suit?
forte.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll help out however I can. Who's this Oak dude?
He is a. They gave me that he's the intern chief of operations for the Oakland Bureau.
Oh, so he's in Oakland.
Yeah.
I bet we could probably work with the resistance in Oakland. I mean, it said they got agents down there, right? I'm sure we can work with them to help make that happen. And even maybe off in fucking Blackwood.
Yeah.
Is you got
Yeah,
like a
from what
timeline
you guys
for
have been
that?
told, Blackwood was working with. He's not exactly like in charge of everything going on up here, but he's one of the heads of intelligence, leading the effort, and he's currently on liaison with a very infamous mercenary company, the Red Swords.
Well, maybe being rebels will help get you closer to that goal. Are you like on the clock for this thing?
A little bit, yeah. I believe it was like 2 or 3 months they wanted me to get this done.
Oh, that's not terrible. I mean, it's not great, but well, we should probably expedite our Oakland plans then. I mean, I guess if everybody else is cool with that. I mean,
Fine.
are you guys cool with accompanying Garuk on an assassination?
I'm cool with it.
I mean, these don't seem like fucking great dudes, so like morally, I'm pretty ambivalent about the whole thing. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of concerned since one of them is called a peacekeeper.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's.
But I'm assuming it's a bad kind of peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You've had a run in with exactly one of the peacekeepers. The name's a bit of a misnomer. They're more spy and CIA agent than anything. They're typically highly trained military operatives masquerading as civilian informants.
Okay.
They're the boogeymen that you report your neighbors to, and then they show up and take your neighbor away in the middle of the night, and then say that the neighbor was doing some treasonous shit against the Empire. So that's what the peacekeepers are. You met exactly one of them when the short-lived friendship with that northern man Gunther came to an end. A peacekeeper came by and asked exactly what your relation to him was after he was identified and arrested and then later murdered.
Oh, I remember that when that weird little dude like got real intimidating, in air quotes, because he wasn't.
Yeah, he came by, asked some questions of you guys, got a little curious, and then left. And then shortly after that, you met Rix, who told you what happened to Gunther.
Oh yeah, he got fucking murked.
Yep, taken into prison and immediately killed.
Talking too loud and too publicly about looking for the fucking Blades. A happy little fucking band. Wasn't that his deal?
Yeah, that and talking about just the North in general. Yeah, it seemed like he stepped on a few too many toes, and someone decided to report him pretty quickly. So subtlety was not Gunther's strong suit.
Nope.
And as far as a timeline, I believe you were given a single month, Garuk, from what my notes say.
Oh.
Yeah. It's been like a week since you had that.
Yeah.
Well, We want to go to Oakland.
I'm good to go to Oakland.
Yeah, and should we also, while we're there, try and convince them to join the cause?
Oh
Should we
yeah.
at least try that part?
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, that's what I'm planning on doing. If that like sideline
birds, one
allows
stone.
Groot to get the access to do his murder, then that's fine. Like, at worst, like defend myself against attack if Groot is engaged in fighting with somebody and it happens to overlap onto my area. That's like the farthest it'll go. But yeah, I assume the rebellion will have like where this Oak dude is, so they'll help you find him. And yeah, we'll find out what they need. And maybe fucking murdering this dude will fit right into their plans. They'll be like, yes, we need that lunatic Oak out of the fucking picture.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt they're gonna be like, oh no, please don't kill this terrible dude.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it looks like an accident. Like, oh no, we killed him. He choked on his pudding.
It's gonna be hard to make it look like he choked on his pudding when he's got stab wounds on him.
Well, some crew's gotta be a little more fucking creative.
God, poison.
Just curious, Garuk. Do you actually have poison on you? Any poison in your inventory?
I think you both know the answer to that question.
I'm pretty
might,
sure.
might,
No.
might be something to look into then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you could like choke him, like hang him up in his closet like he was choke baiting and make it look like he killed himself.
Old choke and stroke.
I mean, that's one
Wow.
way.
I mean,
You never know.
he's dead and it's embarrassing. So nobody talks about how he died, so there. Super
Exactly.
low-key. Dude, I gotta stop giving you these fucking free ideas. This is your job. Why am I better at it than you? Not even a dirty look, Grook.
All right. With that, having shared some information and a few different options laid before you, you continue back up from the caverns back into the main area, proceeding to get some food and just kind of ponder what steps you want to take next. And since the next step will probably involve Zach and his input, we should probably call it there.
Yeah.
You might want to have something to say about all of this.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
So I will
All right.
end the recording
You go
now.
end the recording there.
So thank you for watching.